Dear my viewer of Islamic Event TV, in your Beliefs in Believer program, today our subject is about the arrogance and prideness. As I mentioned, the result of the prideness and the result of arrogance is that in the hellfire. The result is the person is has to go to the hellfire. The hellfire made for these people, for these characters of the human being. Arrogant also is something, action that shows from the people easily if someone closely watch. But is not if someone is not talking, not associate with the person, or not walk with, not any kind, you don't know as he is an arrogant person or he is a humble person. The humbleness and arrogance, when you find, when you relate, when you associate with someone, when the talk is coming, you can feel what kind level of talk, what kind of good talks, or what kind of story he gives. It shows up. Thanks God, today is all people, mostly the one who is educated, suddenly find and analyze the person's character, the person's way of how he lived, how he will be. In the religious wise, it is considered as a good man or as a bad man. In psychologist of the physical point, it shows up he is a positive way of living or he is a negatives. So in any way, the arrogance and prideness is considered as a negative way of life. Historically, the arrogancy is come the time when Almighty God was announced among the angels that I am creating a human being. At that time, a guy name was Azazil, and he not agree. It means when God announced that I am creating a human being, and every angels, they right away they said okay, it's good. But this guy, he did not pay attention, did not listen, just like he didn't hear anything. And that was the beginning, the sign of beginning of arrogance or prideness, because he felt that way probably, I was the very, and I, of course, he thought that I am the highest here, and God, without my consult, he wants to create another things, and he didn't think that you were also as a creations of him, of Allah, of God. But however, when the verse of Quran is about that, among the announcement, the first announce of Almighty God was said, وَإِذْ قَالَ رَبُّكَ لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ إِنِّي جَاعِلٌ no, inni khaliqun basharan min teen. The first one God announced among the angels that I am creating human being, bashar, word of bashar. And then God asked, go ahead, when the angel start to make Adam, they did their own way, make it 2 hands, 2 legs, abdomens, without head. And they didn't know how to do more. And this is just like statues, is not moving anything. And then they went to Allah, or they looked to Allah and say, we don't know anything else. And Almighty God, only by watching, by His own knowledge, the head was created on the top of that statues, the head. And then He blew, He asked the angel, now is blew the soul in it. There is one another ingredient. One part is, of course, you made it by dirt, and the other part has to be something in it. That is the soul. And then the angels was blew the soul, and nafakhta fihi min ruh. That's the ruh, soul. And this time also, this guy did not agreed and did not even believe it. It is not right. They do it according to his silly thought. However, and then his name will become, God called him Iblis and asked him why you did it. He said, I am from fire, and this the one who made it is from the dirt, and I'm higher, and I created from high, that you did it for me, but these are from dirt. So, however, God asked him to exit and cursed. So this was the result of the first Azazel or Iblis. Today is Satan, arrogance, and this is in among the human being forever. Of course, when 3 times he was Azazel, and he name become Iblis, and then Satan, and the same process of during the making Adam. So, however, the Adam, when received all the power, ruh, when angel blew on his mouth the soul, then Adam felt right away, oh, I am something. And at the same time, he should he want to make thank you to Allah, to God, to Creator, that thank you that gave me such kind of power. Now I understand. And he blew himself. He blew down. He blew down himself, and then angel was looking to him, and God asked him, follow him too. So the angel also followed the Adam's prostration. So that is then also this man or this guy still didn't do it. And then as God asked him, why you didn't do it? He said, why you are arrogant? Why you are not obeying my command? He said, well, I'm higher, these are down. So, and this his name become Iblis and Satan. and exited from their position or his position. He knelt down, and then also his permanent life would be in hellfire. And I believe at that time God created also the hellfire place for this guy. And also this guy was so much smart, of course, the beginning, and still had some mentality of smartness. He asked God that how come you are a mercy, you are Rahman Rahim for everything, for everyone, and how about me? You cursed me, you this. What is the merciful of you? And he said, I let you to be among these creations, generation, and whatever you can do it. You are free. You are free to do whatever you can do. And he said, yes, I will come out from left, from right, from a front of all this generation, this guy, this Adam's generation, and whatever I can do, I can deceive them, I can cheat them, and I make them friend of mine. And God told him, yes, go ahead. If they are become your friend, and then your places in hellfire, and then they are go with you also in the hellfire. Even though I love my last creation of Adam, but for reason of that, if they follow you, if there's become obedient of you, also they has to go with you in the hellfire. However, this is the prideness of arrogance, and just come from that time, as I mentioned, until today is continue, and among the human being. But instead of the also next to this kind of characters, also God gave guidance, such books, like we see the Quran or the Bibles or any, or the prophets' words to people tell to make sure, be aware, it's dangerous, do not do it. Even according to the qada is already there, but then if you look to the qadar wa qadar, if you I think you already mentioned about that one last 2 years, one subject about what is the qada wa qadar. This is one of them. It's already got established, already designed it, already managed. But and then for the love of the human being to Creator, He sent the prophets, He sent the revelations, He sent the word wahya to do and do not, do good and do not follow the Satan, to become arrogant and to hope not to go with him to the hellfire. Anyway, the prideness is also make a person sometime become higher, make very high. But if he has also someone to help him, that's why we are the Muslim is a brother of each other, that Allah put him إنما المؤمنون إخوة فأصلحوا بين أخويكم. Someone is missing something, and the other brother or parent mostly has to right away, help him, tell him to not do it, stop. This is a kind of character of many other minus things, many of the satanic temptation, satanic formula, like us we use it always. So we have to be stop. So anyway, I would like to stop you here once again for another break, and then I come back inshallah.